today. Welcome to Toonsday Tuesday. What's up? I'm here with Keckles.
Hey, we were talking about one of my favorite cartoons today. Give me one moment.
Okay.
And now I'm going live myself.
Nice, nice.
Yes, hello everybody. Kickers
Yeah,
here with DJ.
what's up? Yeah,
Hello. Okay. So it took some convincing, but I've got DJ to watch Over the Garden Wall, so I am excited to hear his thoughts on this program.
yeah, I have never seen this before. I've seen commercials for it. I've seen clips of it. But I have never sat down and watched the series until tonight.
Okay, so before getting into any of it, my first question will be this. Is it what you thought the show would be?
Um, not to the full extent. I mean, I will admit, I did expect it to be a lot darker and horror based than what it actually is.
Well, I will say that it does have a good amount of horror to it, and you've experienced a good amount of that as well.
Yes, I have. I mean, there's definitely some horror in it that I like. I like it. But it's not like, let's say, Infinity Train where it's meant to be a lot more horrifying than it is. I
It is
would,
a slow burn. This is a slow burn show with a story that has beginning, middle, and end because this is something where they knew how many episodes that they had and went through them.
I gotta make sense.
Um, what do you think is going on? Before even you know what? No, let's just start with episode one.
Right. Okay, well, episode one, let me pull up some notes real quick because we were working on audio before we began, so I was just prepared with my notes yet, but I have
Now,
them up now.
now let's also see if you actually started with episode one.
Well, okay, so the episode one that I watched was the the old glass mill.
Okay, good. I was partly afraid that you would have stumbled upon the pilot and watched that instead of actual episode one.
Yeah, no,
This would not be the first time you had done something like that. There is a precedent.
yeah, no, I did not find the pilot at all, so
Mhm.
I don't even know where to find the. I mean,
You watched it on Disney Plus, right?
yes, I did.
Okay, okay. No scooping around trying to find things. That's good. It's
Yeah,
always good when we can just find the show that we're trying to watch. I mean, that's just kind of annoying when you have to like search around for everything.
yeah, no, I agree with it. All I'm saying is that I wanted to Disney Plus. They didn't have the pilot, so my first episode is episode one, the old glass mill will is it written like or how do you pronounce the older brother's name?
It's worked.
Walt. And
Wort. Not wart like a frog like toad warts. It's wort. Like yogurt.
okay, weird, but okay. Well, Walt and Greg, oh, along with along with a fraud that Greg attempts to name or lost in the forest and meet a chocolate blue bird and little a woodsman. The old woodsman involves the that they are lost in the unknown and uh, warns them about the beast, which is interesting.
I will
Now,
ask you this. Did did you figure out who the voice of the woodsman is?
I know that voice actor, I can't press the name. It's the guy who played Doc Brown in Back to the Future. Yes?
Yep, it's Christopher Lloyd.
Okay, yeah. So, you see, I know the actors like their voice. I just have a hard time remembering the actual name.
Yeah, no worries about that, man. The amount of names that I've forgotten vastly outstrip the amount of names that I remember.
Yeah, okay. Now, the woodsman takes them to his o- his overmill for some dollars, but they are followed by a savage wolf-like creature. Now, I will admit the whole wolf-like creature when that first popped up, I thought that was the beast.
Yeah, that's one thing that they trick you into thinking at the start of the show.
Okay, yeah. Uh, now, okay, so my only question is related to the plot. Is how is he able to make what basically tall out of wood that I
You will find out later.
okay
It ties into this is a show where everything ties back into everything else. So if you're confused by anything, don't worry. It comes back later.
So,
That's a thing to always remember. It
so
comes back later.
let me ask you this, and I'm actually just for fun. Is this gonna be the reverse of how we will with karaoke? You know everything and I don't.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah. I've watched this thing over and over again.
yeah.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
everything that happened to this. Don't worry about that. This is
Okay.
just me enjoying watching you go down this journey and trying to see like what your thoughts on this are.
Yeah, no, I go.
So I'm going to bring up I'm going to bring up like different reasoning and like letting you know what's going on in an episode, but I'm not going to reveal stuff from later episodes.
I gotta, just like how I didn't tell you, oh, Willow's gonna be on the team for one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, so, growing up of the woman and the two boys attempt to fight off the wolf. The wolf eventually coughs up a trouble, so it told it swallow and reverted to the form of a domestic dog. But the male is destroyed. The wolfman angry at their actions, but still forgiven. Just tries to walk to take responsibility for his younger brother, warns them that the beast is still at large and advises the brothers to seek shelter in a nearby town, which, I mean, okay, this is a. You destroyed what I was doing, but I'm not gonna forsake you for what you did kind of moment.
Yeah. It's also about like the responsibility of older people to take care of the younger.
Yep, I got you.
I didn't quite hear you, but did you mention exactly like what happened when the wolf was defeated?
Um, yeah, the two brothers attempt to fight off the wolf. The wolf eventually coughs up a tunnel and swallowed and reverted to the form of a domestic dog. So,
Right.
yeah. Which, okay, so uh, I would say that part, getting back to it, is weird in its unpractical sense because you're telling me if that dog ate, eats or attempts to eat another living creature, it will go out into wolf hawk mode is what I'm gonna say.
I will say no, that is not what is going on in that scene. And it is connected to the turtles themselves. Turtles which you actually see multiple times over the episodes that we watched.
Okay, yeah. No, I did see a lot of turtles, but
Spotting the turtles are basically like spotting the snail in Adventure Time.
I got ya. Uh, okay, so let's move on to episode 2 because
All right, before we do move on to episode 2, I want your initial thoughts about what is going on with the two brothers and where they are because they wake up like just they've just been wandering in the woods and have no idea where they are. How did they get there? Because they don't even remember going into the woods.
yeah, I mean my the first thought that comes to my mind is that they were kidnapped from the birds, assuming that they shared the same room and they were just dropped off in the middle of the woods with
Okay.
no explanation of, we are gonna leave you here to fend for yourselves unless you make it to wherever they have to make it to. And I'm not talking about the whole Lady of the Forest with the blooper stuff, not yet, but I'm just saying like they will possibly told, hey, you need to go here and you need to find your own way.
Okay. And do you have an idea about what time period this is set in?
Um, I would say this is set in the mid to late, like mid to late 18th century. So,
Okay.
you
Um,
know,
I'll also say episode 1 has one of my just favorite jokes, period, where Wirt originally questions whether or not they should try and knock out the woodsman.
yeah,
And in the background of Wirt's like pouting and laying on the couch, Greg is just testing out various objects to knock the woodsman out with and ends up using them all at the same time.
yeah, no, that was funny to me. uh, so,
So yeah, that brings us to Schooltown Follies. No, not Schooltown Follies. That brings us, yeah,
what,
that brings us to
what
Hard
did
Times
you
at the
watch?
Huskin Bee.
Yeah, hard times are the last could be. God loves kids the purple beatrix from a home bus and she offers the brothers a faithful income with great.
Oh, you did forget to mention that the Bluebird was in the previous episode.
She was?
She was before they met the Woodsman.
Oh, yeah, no. Uh, yeah, the people initially offered them how to get out of the woods but what basically blew off and like, yeah, we got for you, we didn't need your help. Crazy talking about uh, the she offers the brother favorite with great confidence that she was gonna grant him a wish, which she repeatedly says, I'm not imaginable, I'm not, I don't have any powers. Mm. Looking for help, the trio arrives in a trash town, Pottsfield, whose residents were cautious make-up punkers. They dissolve Pottsfield's annual harvest festival and the village little econ said the sentences them to a few hours of manual labor assisted with the harvest as they did as they did grapes in a field outside the village. What because afraid the Pottsville residents planned to kill them and bury them down inside. So it says skeletons emerged from the graves, dressed themselves in pumpkins, and are warmly welcomed by the community as what realizes that all of the Popsicle residents are must be skeletons as what lives Popsicle. Econ tells him you will join us one day. The brothers, the brothers decide to follow the trip to Adelaide of the pastoral, a witch who she claims can help them get home.
Okay, so this episode has a bit more of the semi horror that you may have expected, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would like to ask you this. Do you know what the term Potter's Field is?
I did not know.
Okay, so if someone were to be aware of the term Potter's Field, then they would know the twist to this episode immediately. Because a Potter's Field refers to a communal graveyard, as in like people who couldn't afford to have like tombstones, people who couldn't afford to have
Okay,
like regular ceremonies, they'd be laid to rest in a Potter's Field, which would mean that anyone entering the Potter's Field or anyone who lives in Potter's Field would only be the dead.
okay, I got you.
And then there are things like when they arrived at the barn and one of the residents said that work was a bit too young to be there, or
Yeah,
too early was exactly the
yeah,
words.
no, too old would, you know,
He's not dead yet. Yet.
yeah, like,
Yet.
y'all hit it at some point, I know it, but,
hmm
uh,
Yeah,
okay,
but also yes, they were there. Yes, they were scary. but it's not like they were monsters because the Potters in a Potter's field, everyone is equal.
Yeah,
The because it was people who were left behind by society and then laid to rest together as equals, so there's no one above or below anyone.
now I will say this, and this was my initial thought, but the city councilman or the town mayor, whatever you want to call him, the really tall,
The big old skeleton.
yeah,
The big old pumpkin skeleton man.
yeah, like in my mind, I'm like, is that some type of demon or other type of energy because he's freaking tall.
Huge.
Yeah, huge. So my thought is he has to be a supernatural being to be that big.
Well, they're all walking, talking skeletons. I think they're all supernatural.
Yeah, but I'm not. You know what I mean?
You mean this was not a human skeleton?
Yeah, no, like this is totally something that's non-human, and they basically worship it. So yeah,
What did you think of the joke of him thinking that Beatrice and Greg abandoned him when they had already removed his shackles, so he could have left at any time?
yeah, no, like I own. When I saw them leave, I thought, okay, so they were already under the cycle without him knowing, or B, they'll just use him as a
Bait.
sacrifice. Yeah,
He has bait.
bait.
No.
So,
Um.
no,
Also, you will notice throughout the episode, a lot of it was work just saying, maybe we should just stay here. Maybe this place isn't too bad. We could just stay
yeah,
here and
no,
not go on to like where anyone else.
yeah, no. And the whole won't say that was like, okay, so you won't say you like that, but
Are these guys, are they trying to get home at all?
yeah, no, I mean, okay, I hate to say this, but I'm going to this kind of thing. To me, it seems like a alternate reality that would that would have been explored in Adventure Time, if you know what I'm referring to. Well, you know,
You mean like Pahoy? The pill episode, is that what you're thinking?
well, no, I I'm not quite sure. What I'm thinking is the episodes or episode where we see different realities of friends in farm and
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. The stuff from like Prismo's world.
yeah,
Yeah, where you see the different alternate universes that Prismo watches over.
yeah. exactly.
Like Farm World or
Yeah, yeah,
the Fiona and Cake World, stuff like that.
exactly. Like, this feels like it could be one of those roles that, we could have explored with Jake, with Finn being Wolf and Jake being Grey, you know?
Yeah, I actually could see that one.
So,
The next one I will say to me is one of the weirder ones,
yeah,
Schooltown Follies,
yeah.
which makes me think a lot of something like Animal Farm or the Bremen Town, no, more specifically the Bremen Town Band, which was the farm animals started a band, a jazz band.
I
I'm
mean,
not certain if you're aware of it. I'm actually going to look this up.
I'm, I will say this on my end. When I watched Schooltown Follies, I got remnants of Back to the Bungalow, if you ever seen that.
Hmm.
And, it was less talking and more, less the, like, a animal education center. Now, the whole of the father being the one funding this private school in the middle of the woods for animals was interesting, but, you know, weird. And, I hate to say it because I've seen shows that did this similar trick, but due to Beatrice being able to talk and know that this is before, episode 5 where they review it, I honestly thought that all, all
You
animals,
thought all the animals could talk.
yeah, yeah, with,
But no, they do not reveal her stuff, even though she lies and said that she told them earlier.
yeah, no, no, I got it.
And I found it. It is the Musicians of Bremen. It's a German fairy tale about a donkey, dog, cat, and rooster who leave a farm and start their own band.
Alright, got ya.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that way, way, way back in the old 90s on
Uh,
Reading Rainbow.
yeah, no, I got ya. But, yeah, I mean, it's unique, and now,
Other
no,
than the joke of the ape just being her boyfriend, this one was pretty easy to follow. It's just Wirt and Beatrice bickering for the most part, while everyone else tries to work at the school.
yeah,
Um, the potatoes and molasses song is one of the goofier ones in the show, I will say.
yeah, yeah. Now, I will say this, and this confuses me to a point. They're in the middle of the woods. How did they advertise this fundraiser that they did? I mean, they actually had a lot of people there, so
Well, it's in the woods, but the woods connect to something. There are other towns and other people. It's just we haven't seen it at this point.
yeah, no, I got it. I mean,
Or maybe those people just got lost.
yeah, no, like up to this point, I thought, you know, Walt and Greg were the only two old humans in this forest besides the woodsman, you know?
Okay, I was just about to mention him. I was about to say, did you forget the woodsman?
Yeah, no.
Okay. But
But,
no, apparently there's lots of people around. Maybe they should have just asked to ask one of them for help rather than go on this weird journey.
yeah, but I mean, you get what I'm putting down, like, it's just
The
odd.
more it goes on, the more questions are pop in. Like,
Uh,
what's this doing here? What's this doing here?
uh, yeah, yeah, and definitely there's a lot of questions about episode 4 was,
Which is one of my favorites. One of my absolute favorites.
okay, Songs of the Dark Rainbow. Well,
I will say one reason this one is one of my favorites is this one was done by Pendleton Ward.
okay, yeah, I see that. I see that. No.
Yeah, you can see the Adventure Time influence straight on the page with this one.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Warren Craig visited a tavern to ask for directions to Alex' house. The people in the tavern warned the brothers about the beast, telling them that they could turn people into trees and bones. So it did trees of all to bone to in his radar. Now, this I would say is the part where it really made me think, is the worstman the beast? I mean, is woman the oval in a length on is torn in a trees into oval, but it's not him. Based
Oh,
on
by the way, hello everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. We're talking about Over the Garden Wall with a friend of mine, DJ, over in DJ's Cartoon Universe, who's never watched this before. And he's
yeah,
utterly confused, and it's wonderful.
yeah, no. I would say for those who are watching, Cackles is enjoying this a bit too much because it's one show he's all too aware that I have no clue of what I'm watching, and he's just enjoying it. And by the way, hey everyone, in my chat was good to see ya. So, yeah. Now, I would say continuing episode 4. Uh, what concludes that, and this is where I get mine. What concludes that the wolfman must be the beast? Hearing that, hearing Beatrice in distress, what fills a talking horse named Fred,
Good
and
old Fred.
yeah, and rise to her rescue. He finds Beatrice unconscious next to the wolfman, and Walt and Greg ride off with her. Meanwhile, the beast, who we get somewhat of a review, reminds the wolfman that the flame inside his little contains his double soul, and that he must cut down at World War II so to follow to keep her alive.
So now you have your expedition done. But before that, the whole thing with the tavern itself. When we were in the tavern and all the people are described by their jobs rather than who they are, that is basically delving into the message and nature of story and characters.
Yeah,
Like, what are you to the story? Like, is Work the lover or is Work the pilgrim? Or Work, like, is he the protector? Sort of like tarot cards, sort of like any of these types of things. In stories, certain icons represent things to move a story along.
yeah,
That's why it's always the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. It's the woodsman. He doesn't have a name. He is the woodsman.
yeah. Not
Because
like,
the woodsman has an important narrative role in fiction.
yeah,
Like,
not,
woodsmen bring civilization by chopping down trees, by creating light that is supposed to be passed from individual to individual.
yeah,
They keep the fire burning to keep life going.
I hear you. Yeah, no, I mean, this particular episode reminds me a whole lot of, like, that scene from Tangled in the tavern. You know the
Hmm.
one I'm talking about?
The one with all the bandits. They're telling their stories.
Yeah, yeah. So,
By the way, I'm the highwayman.
yeah.
I'm the
No,
highwayman, and I make ends meet.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah. The fact that they had to stop the entire story just to introduce the highwayman to flex the animation skill and then leave. This is great.
yeah, no, it was funny.
Fred. Fred the talking horse.
Yeah, no,
That was also one of the first clues that Beatrix is special because she didn't think horses could talk. And then Fred can just talk.
yeah, which leads me to the question is, what did Fred do to become a host?
Well,
So,
as far as we know, Fred's just a talking horse.
uh,
And then we have Wirt trying to save Beatrice, and it turns it like, oh, she just flew into a tree and and knocked herself out.
yeah,
There was no danger in the situation.
um, uh, so, is there anything else that you have on this one you want to let me in on, or should I go to episode 5? Mad,
We can go to episode 5.
okay, Mad Love, which my, I will say this, the transition of 4 to 5
It
doesn't,
feels like something skipped.
yeah, doesn't make sense at all. So,
I will tell you it does.
okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It does make sense.
Uh, Warren Gray tried to be the nephew of the wealthy and eccentric country, and they got the they can see 2 cents from him to pay for the ferry to Alex' house. Quincy tells them he had fallen in love with a ghost he saw one night, but Phil is gonna imagine the ghost while Walton Beach was for pennies. Quincy takes Greg and Fred to subside the ghost. Beatrice reveals to all she was once human, but she and her family were caused by a blue bomb, and Alex is the only one who can trace them back. Okay, now this world, you know, we
Yeah. So this is the first time we actually get like a little bit of what's going on with well, no, actually, the previous episode we did get something. We got the knowledge that Greg and Wirt were half siblings.
well, yeah, that,
Yeah,
yeah,
here that's revealed during Wirt's song.
yeah, no, that his mother was married and had Greg with his stepfather, yeah.
Mhm. And now we get the knowledge that he has a crush on a girl back home, and that's all we get from that. And it's utterly nonsensical that that's his deep dark secret.
Yeah, no, really, this is definitely a interesting one, and you know, I I hate to speculate right now, but and I'm not asking you to say it, but in my mind, Beatrice could, could have been that goal he had a close on back at home. I mean, that's the way I look at it, sir.
Okay.
Because they they didn't say, "Oh, I have a crush on so and so." They just said, "I
A
have
girl.
a crush on a girl back home." Who's to say that Beatrice is not that girl back
Oh
home?
no, no, no. He does give the name.
Uh, what's the name?
He says the girl's name is Sarah.
I
He says that when they're in the closet. He does say it's the girl's name is Sarah.
I probably missed that so well, but yeah, I got that.
We also have more civilization, more people, a wealthy, two wealthy business tycoons
Yeah,
who,
no, right, the whole, oh, y'all built your houses right by each other, basically on the same property, and they moved together is weird and awkward. Like, you really thought your house was that big that you happened to come by a room that you don't go to that often?
hmm
I mean, that's insane to me. But hey, it's what it
well,
is.
hey, it makes more sense that it would be a ghost to him, but he is crazy. He fully admitted that.
Yeah, no, he
It's
did.
called Mad Love for a reason.
Yeah, I got it.
I love Fred's constant desire to just steal stuff.
Yeah,
Fully just fitting in with everything. It's like, hey, maybe we should just steal stuff.
yeah. No, like, the cotton trip, let's just feel it was nice. Now,
Um, did you take note of what was needed for payment?
yeah, two sets, two pennies.
Two pennies for the ferry.
Yeah, which, you know, they handed to Greg, quickly handed him one, the Luke's debutante handed him another one, but Greg discovered the two sets quickly found claiming that claiming he has no sense at all, which play on words with that. Uh, yeah,
But once again, remember what I said. It all comes back.
yeah, no, I got it.
hmm And Fred ends up staying with them, which is good.
Yeah,
It'll miss that thieving horse, though. But, he's got to stay there.
yeah, no, I got it. It was definitely. This is a encrypted show. I personally can't wait to see, how it ends. And I will say this and simple yes no may several, but this isn't a series. Well, at the end, we found out that both Wolf and Blake are dead, do we?
I'm not going to say one way or the other anything.
Okay. Uh,
Though I
uh,
will say a lot of the thought is figuring out what is going on.
yeah, because,
Because it's a strange little world that you find yourselves in the unknown.
yeah,
Because
because,
that is what they constantly call this place.
yeah,
Where are they? They are in the unknown.
yeah, and then I get it. I mean, that is,
That is the answer to your question about where are they? They are
yeah,
in the
I
unknown.
got it. I'm just, in my mind, it's, you know, could this potentially be a, you know, they have to cross into the afterlife kind of situation that's going on in my head.
Well, the good news is, you can watch whenever you want to watch it, and we'll talk about it next week.
Alright, yeah, with that being said, guys, I will see y'all next. We will see you on Friday, and I hope all y'all have a great week. Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.